The rebellion on the programme motion has ended and the rebels have won, and I congratulate those rebels because it was the right thing to do. But I don't stand today to ask for the Lords to be reformed. I want it to be abolished, and I don't say that to offend or to disrespect anyone who has served there. I say it because these Houses of Parliament have evolved over 800 years, and I believe that our democracy now has the strength, character and history to take that next step and operate as a single legislature. The description Mother of Parliaments was neither offered or given as a testament to a monolithic institution incapable of change. It was offered as a compliment to a political system which gave birth to so many others. It was and is able to change. I do accept the proposition that in this 21st century there should be no place for an unelected chamber, but then when I wake up from my utopia, I realise I have to turn back to the reality, and that's the government bill in front of us. And I don't find a plan to modernise. I don't find a plan to improve our democracy. I see a plan cobbled together to keep a coalition partner sweet. And I understand that, but the Liberals always pick the wrong issue to sweeten. And the government decided to put its head down and bully shove this ill-thought reform through, a plan, to use the words of Roger Kipling, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. I recognise that my desire for a unicameral system may be a step too far for many people in this House, but at least, Mr Deputy Speaker, it has the virtue of integrity, a commodity that the government plan sadly lacks. There are numerous issues that have been addressed or need to be addressed, but I will deal with, Mr Deputy Speaker, with just one because time is short. The primacy of the House of Commons has been mentioned several times in this debate. Many members have commented on this, but nobody from the government benches who is supporting the proposals has yet offered a legitimate argument that would explain how an elected upper chamber with a legitimate electoral mandate could be curtailed in its use of that mandate in this place or by this place. Because is that not the very reason that we seek to introduce democracy to the second chamber? To make it accountable to the people through a ballot box? And is that not the very argument of democratisation, its purportedly strongest point, which also becomes its weakest link? Because therein lies the rub for all honourable members. At best, the bill in front of us is a stab in the dark. At best, guesswork on how the relationship between the House of Commons and the second chamber would develop. As the right honourable member for Kensington said yesterday, the Parliament Act of 1911 was taxed because until then, apart from taxation, there was an equal right of veto on business of Parliament. The 1949 Act merely reduced the amount of time that the House of Lords could delay Commons legislation. That argument now goes full circle, and with a proposition of having two elected houses, how is the primacy of this place to be maintained? And Clause 2, Mr Deputy Speaker, says absolutely nothing about that. All it needs is for one newly elected member of the House of Lords to stand up and say, no, I too am elected, and the Commons shall not override my views. And what then, Mr Deputy Speaker? No, I'm not going to give way because there's lots of other people wanting in and time is short. And what then, Mr Deputy Speaker? Will the mother of all parliaments become a resting place for a constitutional standoff? And there could be nothing worse than everyone in this House, knowing the flaws that this bill contains, carrying on regardless and not saying anything about it. Even a nude emperor, Mr Deputy Speaker, would blush at that stupidity. In terms of my final conclusions, in terms of this bill, my analysis is thus. I recognise Walter Bagehot's view that with a perfect lower house, it is certain that an upper house would be scarcely of any value. If we had an ideal House of Commons, it is certain we should not need a higher chamber. And what can be more perfect than a chamber with democratically elected members representing every part of this United Kingdom? And if the second chamber cannot be improved through consensus, and those improvements cannot be endorsed by the people in a referendum, then there is one thing for sure, Mr Deputy Speaker. Having a second chamber in its current format, with limited power, unable to challenge the decision of elected politicians, is preferable any day of the week compared to an ill-thought-out plan which seeks to introduce constitutional change for cynical political advantage.